little magic show for us. So if we can all give her a big round of applause, Sister Carolyn.
So that you know, I was one of the last people that graduated from this building when it was still Alvernia High School. Our class was the very, very last one. And people always say, well, how did a nun get involved in magic? Well, the thing is, I saw this magician. He took a newspaper and he cut a column. And when he cut the column, he kept cutting it. And every time he cut it, it stayed together. So I had a friend, his name was Mr. Magic. And I called him up and I said, hey, Mr. Magic. I said, this guy does this trick with his newspaper where what he does is he cuts it and it still stays together. I said, do you have any idea how he does it? And he said, I don't mind, sister. He said, but I have to ask you a few questions first. So, okay, he said to me, all right, you're sure he just cuts it? And I said, yeah, he cuts it straight across. It's just a regular newspaper. Okay, this one was from Sunday. You probably recognized it from the clock when you turn back your clocks. But anyway, what he would do is he would just cut it, and when he let it fall, it was still one piece. And I said, so Mr. Magic, how does he do it? He says, Sister, patience, patience. And we didn't have cell phones in those days, so I was on a payphone. So he says, are you sure he just cuts it straight across? And I said, yeah, he just cuts it straight across, and when he lets it go, I said, it's still one piece. He said, at any time does he cut it on a diagonal? I said, a diagonal? I said, no, if he cuts it on a diagonal, it's not going to stay together. I said, he only cuts it straight across. And I said, you know how he does it. Sister, patience, patience. I have a few more questions. He said, you could say he just cuts it straight across. I said, yeah, and when he lets it go, I said, it's still one piece. All right, he said, I have one more question. He said, at any time when he's performing this trick, and this is really hard because I have a breeze, but anyway, he said, at any time does he take one in one hand and one in the other hand? I said, no. I said, he just takes it, cuts it, and it's still one piece. And he says, well, I think I know how he does it, sister. Well, at that time, the operator said, if you want to continue this call, please deposit another quarter. Well, I didn't have another quarter, so I got disconnected, but that's what got me interested in magic. And I do have to admit, when I first started doing magic tricks I usually performed for our sisters, and it was, mostly postulants, novices, and other sisters. Most of my tricks did not work, and I admit it. And really, at the time, what it was is when I said I went into the room and the other sisters were there, and I said, I have a new trick. And they all disappeared. And they all said, that was my best trick. But anyway, one day, what happened is for Christmas, my younger brother bought me some really good magic tricks. And one of them was a milk pitcher. So I said, I went back to the convent and I said to the other sisters, don't disappear. I have a real magic trick. And I went into the living room, and of course I had my pitcher of milk. And I went up, and I took it, and slowly, okay, can you all see back there? I want to make sure, okay. So slowly, I pour the milk into the newspaper, and the other sister said, and I said, don't worry, I use evaporated milk. But anyway, what happened is I was able to make all that milk disappear. And the sisters were so happy that I finally started to do some really, really good magic tricks. Now, magicians do different tricks. Sometimes magicians take a rope, okay, and they do a magic trick. Could I have a volunteer to come up just to check the ropes? Okay, I'll call you up for another one, okay? Come on up. Just check, make sure there's no trap doors. Okay, I got 3 different size ropes. Okay, you can stay up here because then I'm going to do my trick. All right, just check. Make sure there's no snaps or buttons or anything there. Okay?
Good move.
All right, can I have the little one first? Okay. And then the middle-sized one. And then the long one. All right, just wait. So what happened, when I was growing up, we used to have a sailboat. And on the sailboat, sometimes you needed different ropes that were long and medium and small. But sometimes we needed tricks to do our sailing. We needed different sizes, but sometimes we needed them to be the same size. So I said, well, what are we going to do? And they said, well, you're a magician. Make them all the same size. I said, oh, okay, that's easy enough to do, right? But then I didn't think of it because the next day what happened is we needed to have ropes that were going to be small, okay, medium, and large. Let's do a round of applause for Dan. Here we have a box that has, okay, but here we go. So we have ropes, like I started with the other trick, we have all the same size. Okay, so we have this size, same size, same size. I'm going to take the 3 ropes and put them in a box. 1, 2, 3, and what I'll do is I'll put it over here, because I know, you're way back there, but I'll put it here, and you could watch it, okay? So, those ropes are untied now, right? So we have a board, this is my notes of who would have come. Anyway, it says untied, because all the ropes are untied. What's the 3rd letter over here? T. All right, remember that, because it's untied. Now, as a magician, I could take paper, I could tear it up, I could restore it, I could change letters, but, the thing is, if I take this paper that said, what was the word? Okay, see if I could change some of them around a little bit, and if I could get it restored. Now you also, can you see that getting torn up? Yes. Okay, so we got, but with a little bit of magic, and does everybody know the magic word? No, that's the old magic word. The new magic word is the check is in the mail. So let's say on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. The check is in the mail. And see what happened is it all came back together. And let's see what we have here. Okay, what does it say? Oh, the 3rd letter is an I now, so it says united. Now that box was there, I didn't touch it the whole time, right? Well, let's see what happened to the ropes. You're probably going to say, well, if you're really that good, instead of having 3, okay, what you should do is you should just make them all into 1. So let's see if we could do that. See, we've got 3 and now we've got 1. Sometimes magicians, they do mentalism and they do predictions. Okay, where's my little helper? Okay, you want to come over here. I'm going to give this to you. Okay? Don't open it. Okay? We're going to what's your name? Princess. Okay, how about if you take a seat? Don't open it. Don't give it to anybody. Okay? And on this side, because we're going to get some, okay. I don't know if you want to yeah, then I could move this over a little bit. Okay. Is this okay? Okay. Over here, I have numbers from 1 to 16. And I need a volunteer to come up and to circle one of the numbers. That's easy enough. Do I have a volunteer? on up. Circle any one of the 16 numbers. Okay. Just circle any number. Any number, one number. Alright, now what I want you to do is cross out the other numbers that are in that row. And cross out the numbers in the column. Very good, thank you. And your name?
Amanda.
Amanda, let's give her a round of applause. Amanda, just so that they know that I was not doing, call on somebody. Anybody else in the audience. Choose somebody. So we still have some numbers, that are not crossed out of circle. Very good. All right, I want you now to cross and to circle any number that's not circled and crossed out. Okay? And then cross out those in the column and all those going that way. And your name is?
Denise.
Denise, right? It's been working up in development. All right, Denise, call on somebody. Okay, we still have a few more numbers, so circle another number. All right, cross out any. Okay, cross out any. And we left one more, so circle that one, that's still left. Okay, thank you very much. And your name is? Haley, thank you very much. Okay, so now, see if we have any mathematicians in the room. If we add up the numbers that are circled, which are 13, 11, 8, and 2. Okay, what's 8 and 2 is?
10,
10 and 11,
21,
21 and 13.
34.
All right, would you please bring the envelope up? And inside there's a piece of paper. Would you take the paper out? And you could give me the envelope. Okay, and open it up and hold up. Okay, hold up the sign for everybody. All right, show the audience over here too. Thank you very much. So my predictions, let's say thank you very much. You did a great job, my magician's assistant. I'm going to need 3 people for my next one, but I'll call you up one at a time. Okay, and again, this is going to be prediction. Okay. And I'm going to ask somebody first to come up, and I'm going to make a prediction. Okay, and then I'm going to have somebody to do something. Who would like to be my first assistant? All right, come on up. And I'm going to ask you to think, don't tell me yet, just think of a number from 1 to 99. Okay, I'm going to make my prediction. Okay, now you can tell everybody what your number is.
7.
That was a real easy one. Thank you very much. Okay, now call on somebody. Okay, don't tell me, but I'm going to ask you to tell me a state, United States, okay? And I will make a prediction. Okay, what is the state that you have?
New Jersey.
New Jersey and why? All right, very good. Call it one more person. Okay, I'm going to shuffle the deck of cards, and I'm going to ask you to pick one. I'm going to make a prediction Okay, what was the, quite into it. Okay, and I'll show you that the cards, they're all different. I'll show it to you, and then because I know they can't all see there. Okay, and I'll show you both sides. Okay, so you can see. So you don't think that half of the deck, okay, is one, and then the other half is another one. Okay. Now I'm going to fan the cards, and I want you to tell me to stop. Okay. Okay. Because it kind of stopped. So I'm going to do that again. All right, we're good. A little bit faster. Okay, there's your card. You'll take a look, show everybody what your card is. Okay, what is it? It's the diamonds. Okay, okay, you can take your seat. And I'll put over here the Ace of Diamonds. Now, what is the possibility, Ace of Diamonds, that my prediction was that she would say 7. Okay? Or that she would choose New Jersey. And she would choose the Now we get to the real. I'm going to try.
Thank you, Sister Carol Ann. Another round of applause for Sister Carol Ann. All right. So, Sister Carol Ann, we're gonna pack up some more things, and then we're gonna